Hey, I'm Dan Fitzpatrick here at StockMarketMentor.com. And hey, it's been one heck of a day, huh? Look, we've got the S&P. I'll show you a couple things. Before I get to the chart I wanted to show you. So we've got the S&P breaking down pretty good here. My suspicion is it has further to go. Similarly with the NASDAQ. This isn't a buy the dip, okay? Buy the dip and you're going to get ripped. It's just not going to work out for you. Same thing here with the NASDAQ composite. This is, I'll just say it, there's always an exception to the rule, but I'm not talking about the exceptions. If you're buying right now, you're going against the grain. You're kind of like standing behind a dump truck with your arms open, waiting for the nuggets that are coming out the back. It's not going to work out for you. I was showing our members this in our training session today, that if we compare now we've got the composite compared against all these, Spider, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, blah, 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 all these, you could see them. So you can see everything's moving down, right? NASDAQ composite is really moving down a lot, but this is the point I actually want to make. This is the percentage of listed stocks above their 40-day moving average. Now, and these are all these wonderful mega cap companies. Well, when these guys, while they were going higher, we've got the breadth indicator moving higher as well until this was, above 75. I can't recall seeing it ever above 80. But when it gets up this high, well, bam, there you go. See, Alzheimer's kicking in early for me. When it gets up this high, it just can't go that much farther. Like at some point, you're going to get some kind of a pullback. Whether that pullback is a bona fide correction, we're only going to know that after it takes place. But we just know that things are getting pretty frothy when virtually everything is above its respective 40-day moving average. But to me, what was instructive is, so you see how this is moving up here, and then at some point right here, this runs lower, right about the same time as all of these are falling. And you can see here, Microsoft's already taken a big fall, right? And then finally, this thing just really, really starts to pick up the pace. And now we're here. So this is what I know. I know that you're never going to see a chart like this. You're just not going to see it. You're going to see perhaps lower prices. I don't know, lower numbers here on this reading, on this breadth indicator. Maybe they'll get a little bit lower. Of course, at some point, they're going to reach a point where it's time to be buying them. So we're not quite there yet, but the point is, this is not the time to be buying. If you want to look at the longer term moving average, you'll see the same thing. Down well below 50. 50 had been enjoying this for quite a while here, but now this is below 50 and moving lower. And this is the longer term moving average. So don't let all the squiggly lines really confuse you. Just think about it in this respect. Up is good, down is bad. Up really, really super, super high and fast. It's great for you right now, but probably not that great tomorrow. I mean, when you think about it, this really isn't that hard to figure out, as long as you don't have some kind of a bias, as long as you're not, you don't have a particular opinion set in stone. I know the market's going higher. I know the market's wrong in selling, MasterCard or Microsoft or whatever it is. I know the market's wrong, so I'm buying that stock. You have to give way to the signals that the market's telling you, because that's how you make money. So one of the things that I'm really keying on is like MicroStrategy. We got into this stock at, well, you see my notes here, 328.10, and we're setting stops all along the way and taking partial profits all along the way. I think our final exodus was 426, if I'm not mistaken. But this is how you ride trends like this. Same thing here with Mara. This was an awesome trading vehicle for us. People made a lot of gains on this stock, but at some point, the stock has to go bye-bye. You have to say goodbye. And we hit that point 1640. So one thing I mentioned in today's training session, which was over an hour long, I mentioned that when you are trading, you don't trade the ticker. You don't fall in love with a particular stock. And I've heard people do that. I know when I first started trading, there was some know-it-all buffoon guy that I was teaching workshops with. I remember his name. His name's John Patrick. He won't hear this because he's not in the market anymore for reasons that will become obvious in a moment. But anyway, he used to tell people, oh, I love Dell. I love Dell. Oh, I'm a monster, an expert trader at Dell. Because Dell was just going up. It was just going up all the time. Well, hell, anybody, any fool could be an expert at that. But the problem is when Dell started going down and down and down, this guy had magically discovered that selling puts was a good strategy. And last I heard, his limited partnership, which his broker had foolishly allowed him to trade in, had gone belly up. He owed a bunch of money, and so he's left the market and is probably now, hey, he may have waited on you last night at Denny's. But the point is, you don't want to be falling in love with a ticker. Fall in love with a chart. Fall in love with a chart pattern. If you fall in love with a chart pattern, you're never going to have a bad relationship because you know when the time comes to ditch your lover. Like, I love this chart pattern. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And then at some point you say, well, maybe it's time for us to move on. And then you're on to the next deal. You're not thinking about Marathon. You're not thinking about MicroStrategies. You're not thinking about NVIDIA or Google or Meta or Microsoft. You're not thinking about any of that. Like, if you look at this chart right now, is this a stock that you would want to buy? No. But some of you, if I told you, oh yeah, but it's Microsoft, oh, well yeah, that's a good company. So it's important for you to trade what you see, not what you like. I'll just, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. Watch your email for more invites to Scott McGregor's crypto workshop next Wednesday. It's going to be a good one. I know that for a fact because I'm going to be there too, and I'm going to make damn sure it's a good one. I'll see you there.